To this lesson about parts of speech and symbolizing a sentence. This lesson is for students who have used the parts of speech symbols in Montessori before and are pretty familiar with the parts of speech and maybe have even symbolized a sentence before. If you haven't, it might be better to start with the simpler lesson. That's going to get you started and on track to learn the parts of speech a little more slowly. But if you feel pretty comfortable with it and you want to challenge yourself, feel free to give this a try. Make sure to have your language notebook handy in case you want to do some writing and take some notes. You'd label the top of your page parts of speech, and there may be some terms here that you want to write down. Now to begin, every word functions in some way in our speech, and some words have a function that stays the same whenever it's spoken or written, but most words can change depending on how it's being used. So when we put our words together, they can actually change each other and change their meaning depending on what we're talking about. Let's take a look at some of these parts of speech and how we might symbolize a sentence. The 9 parts of speech that we start with are the article, the noun, conjunction, adjective, pronoun, preposition, interjection, and adverb, and the verb. So to get started, we're going to look at what is, in some ways, one of the most simple parts of speech that is used very often, the noun. Nouns are naming words. A noun can name a person, a place, a thing, or an idea. It might name a person like Mayor Melvin Carter. Mayor Melvin Carter is a person, so that word, Mayor Melvin Carter, is a noun. It might name a place like St. Paul. St. Paul is a place, so that word is a noun. Or school. School is a thing. A school is a thing, so the word school is a noun. It can also include an idea, like the idea of friendship. Friendship is an idea. You can't see it or touch it the way you can a thing, but it does exist. Friendship does exist. And it is an idea, so that word is also a noun. We symbolize a noun with a black triangle. So if you were symbolizing a sentence, when you found the word friendship, you would put a black triangle above it. That is how we symbolize a word or sentence. The next part of speech we're going to look at is an article. An article is represented by a small light blue triangle. Articles are small. Articles are words that define a noun as specific or unspecific, and I'll show you what I mean. A garden is kind of unspecific. It talks about a garden. It could be any garden. This garden happens to be the J.J. Hill garden. Or an iceberg. That's also unspecific because an iceberg could be any iceberg. I don't know which iceberg that is. One thing I would point out is that the word garden, g, starts with a consonant. So we use the word a garden. We have a that ends with a vowel because a is a vowel, and a garden that starts with a consonant, g. Compare that to an iceberg. Iceberg, I, starts with a vowel, I. So we put an N at the end of an to add a consonant in there. Either way, you need a consonant, either at the beginning of the word or in your article. Hope that makes sense. If not, we'll keep practicing it. Another article is the. The is specific. The school. Which school? The school. In this case, which school? J.J. Hill Montessori, not just a school. So an article can be specific or unspecific. Importantly, it's a small blue triangle when we're symbolizing it. You would use that symbol. An adjective symbolized by a dark blue and bigger triangle. An adjective is a describing word. An adjective is used to change or describe a noun or pronoun. It's a describing word. For example, there are many seasons in Minnesota. One of them, the spring, is a wet season. Notice how I put the blue triangle over the word wet. A season is kind of a thing, or kind of an idea. Either way, it's a noun, and the adjective describes it. You can have a wet season, or in the summer you might have a hot season. In the fall you might have a dry season, or a colorful season. And in the winter you have a cool season. Adjectives are describing words, symbolized by a bigger blue, dark blue triangle. Next, we'll look at a verb. A red circle. You might think about it like a bouncing ball. Bouncing is a verb. That's an action word. Verbs are all action words. A verb describes something that's happening and usually can end in ing. Let's look at some verbs. Falling is a verb. It's an action. It's something that happens. You fall. It can end with ing. If it can end with ing, it's probably a verb. The girl is falling. Notice that verb is right above the word falling. The boy is walking. The cat is flying. Careful, cat. The person is swimming. So, these are all action words. I put that red circle above the verb in the sentence. Next up is an adverb. An adverb changes verbs and adjectives. One way to spot an adverb is it often ends in ly, or what we pronounce as lee. Let's give it a try. For example, the movie started suddenly. How did the movie start? It started suddenly. So again, it's changing that verb start. It's saying that it started in a certain way. Did it start slowly? No, it started suddenly. It's just kind of describes a verb. And since it's kind of a describing word, it's almost like an adjective. We call it an adverb. The cheetah ran quickly. How did the cheetah run? Quickly. I randomly share trivia with my class. How do I share trivia with my class? Randomly. Describes a verb, or how a verb happens. Next up is a pronoun. Pronouns replace nouns. Let me give you an example. If I were to say, Jeff went to the movies and Jeff got popcorn and the popcorn was salty, that might sound somewhat repetitive. In English, we usually think that sounds repetitive. So we use pronouns to replace the nouns in a sentence. It makes it sound less repetitive. I'll just demonstrate here and I think you'll see what I mean. Again, Jeff went to the movies, Jeff got popcorn was salty, sounds repetitive. But if we say, Jeff went to the movies and he got popcorn and it was salty, the pronoun he replaces my name, Jeff. The pronoun it replaces the word popcorn. It just flows better, it just sounds better, which is important. That's a pronoun. You might say, she dodged the dragonfly. She is a pronoun in that sentence, with a tall purple triangle. They lifted the child. They is a pronoun for a group of people or an indefinite person. I saw the eclipse. I is a pronoun. It describes myself. Pronouns are important too because they are kind of an important marker of gender, and it's how oftentimes people identify themselves. It's something that's important to be conscious of, and you should be aware of how people prefer, what pronouns people prefer. It's something that we've probably encountered in our lives and in school, and something to be mindful of. A preposition tells you where something is happening. You might say prepositions tell you the position of something. For example, this balloon floated above the rock. Above tells you the position of the balloon. Above is a preposition. The dog is behind his owner. He's not very happy either, is he? Behind tells you the position of the dog. He's behind his owner. Behind is a preposition. We use that green crescent. We call it. It's kind of a crescent shape that we use to symbolize a preposition. The man is under a cloud. Where's the man? Under a cloud. Doesn't look very happy either. The orange is near the avocado. Where is the orange? It's near the avocado. So the preposition kind of answers the question where. A conjunction is a connecting word. It links words and phrases. For example, the bird eats seeds and bugs. It connects the bugs to the rest of the sentence. Or soccer is funny in winter, but it's better in the summer. It connects it's better in the summer with soccer's funny in winter. It's a connecting word. Or the music started, so the carrots started dancing. Those are conjunctions. Conjunctions connect parts of a sentence. An interjection is a sound or expresses a feeling. This is our last part of speech we'll look at. For example, achoo. Achoo is a sound people make when they sneeze. Achoo, said the girl, sneezing into her elbow. Oh, I noticed there's a typo there. Whoops. Or the boy started running and yelled, yikes. Yikes is a sound people make when they might start running. Or the sandwich yelled, ouch, and cried. That's an example of a sound that you make when you're in pain. Interjections are sounds or expressions of feelings. All right, how do I identify the part of speech? Well, one way you can identify a part of speech is you can use like these notes here, these tests. For example, oh, it ends with ing. I know it must be a verb. Or it ends with ly, it must be an adverb. Or it tells me the position of something. It must be a preposition. Another strategy you can use is you can use a dictionary. And you'll notice that in the dictionary, there's a little letter. Like, do you notice this word dance here has a little V immediately after it? Or down below that, an N after dandelion. A dandelion is a noun, it's a thing, so it has an N. Dance, dancing, is a verb, so it has a V. And there is symbols for each, for any kind of word in the dictionary. And all these words, if you look them up in a dictionary, will have their part of speech. Will immediately follow the word in the dictionary. So feel free to use a dictionary and just look it up. Is it an adverb, a preposition, an interjection, an article, a noun? But I'll just show you these symbols too if you want to write them down. A noun is an N. Pronoun is PRON. Adjective is ADJ. Adverb is ADV. A verb is a V. Conjunctions, CONJ. Prepositions, prep. Interjections, interj. These little abbreviations you'll find in the dictionary, and it'll just tell you what part of speech it is. It's fine to look these up. All right, so your last, or rather your follow-up work here is going to be to locate the symbolizing sentence extension. It looks like this, and this is a material that you can use and work with. So you're going to watch the next video about how to do the follow-up work, and you will open this work up on your own, make a copy, and be creative to do some practice with symbolizing sentences. Hope you have fun, and check out the next lesson soon.